So, who else is still recovering from watching the last episode of Stranger Things? I'm not gonna lie. I've been off and on crying. I have so many words, but I have no words at the same time. And if you know, you know. Especially if you're a fan of the show. Yeah, that rhymed. If you know, you know. If you're a fan of the show. But like, especially for those of us who grew up and lived in the 80s, you know, and been through that time, you know, I'm about to start crying. Thank God. Because you have memories of your friends and when the good and the bad, you know, before life really hit, you know. Of course, they had to fight demogorgons and demons and all that crap. But then again, we did too. You know, we had our own demons, per se. We had bullies and all kinds of stuff. But either way, the nostalgia of it, you know what I'm saying? And, I mean, you grow up and then life hits. And then you look back and you're like, damn, that was easy. Like, you know, like life wasn't so hard back then. As hard as we thought. And then you watch these kids, these damn actors. I know they're just actors, but they're people too. You know, and we watch them grow up on TV. And, you know, I'm a parent. I have a son and I have two daughters. So, you know, as a mom, you know, if you're an older crowd who watches Stranger Things or is a fan, you know, you have kids and you're a parent, you know, you watch these kids grow up and it's like you're watching your own kids grow up. It's just, I don't know. It's, I can't say it's sad. It's beautiful sad. It's beautifully sad, I guess. And I know it's so stupid to cry over a freaking show, but my God, it was so well made and like, I don't know. It was a lot. It was a lot to unpack. And, yeah. Anyway, wow. The ending, I know there's people on the internet saying, "Oh, more people should have died," and the fight scene with Elle and you know Vecna should have been more than 6 minutes long, and all this stuff. Bah! It ended how it ended and how it should have ended, and then it ended very. My God, like 6 minutes is all we needed, and then you know to have them, and then it goes to a year later. Spoiler alert. And then everybody's, you know, healing and getting along better and starting to go back to school and starting to go back to movies and, you know, they're getting better and they're starting to smile again. And, you know, it's like they're healing, you know, they're healing their wounds. And Town Hawkins, they've been through a lot, you know. And for anybody, you know, people can relate to that shit, you know what I'm saying? And especially with the music and stuff like that. Like I said, if you grew up in the 80s and you were there, you know, for the younger crowd, you'd probably be feeling the same way as us older crowd, us older people who are fans of Stranger Things as well. But we feel it, I think, a little bit more heavier because we lived it. You know what I'm saying? We were there, like in that time. So, you know, when that song plays and comes on, especially like at the end, they play Heroes, you know, we can be heroes. I mean, we lived that shit. We lived it, you know, and it's like when that song comes on, it just takes you right back to that time and, you know, a lot of good memories. And then when the kids graduate, oh my God, it reminded me of my graduation. We didn't want to leave each other. We were so afraid to leave each other because we knew after this, that's it. You know, we're all going to go our separate ways. We don't know when we'll see each other again. We didn't know that Facebook was going to be around someday, you know. Thankfully, Facebook came out and all the social media, we were able to connect. Like, I'm friends with my entire class and then some. I went to a couple of schools growing up because I was in foster care, but I'm friends still to this day, like with my elementary school teacher, first grade and second grade teacher, and other teachers. I'm also friends with like the principal of my high school and like my entire class that I graduated in 2001 at Mount Dora High School, Mount Dora, Florida. You know, elementary schools that I went to, private schools I went to, middle school that I went to. I mean, I'm friends with all these classmates still to this day. And even if it's online, we're still connected. But we didn't know that we were going to have that back then. You know what I'm saying? So back then, you know, that was it until, you know, social media came out. So those few years in between that time, we were just trying to live life as adults. And, you know, you look back and it's like, man, I miss those days. I really miss those days. And I know, like, sometimes I'll find my yearbook and I'll open it up and I'll start crying because it just takes you right back to that time. Because there were so many good memories. Even though, like, I was in foster care, okay, when I was in school. So I was a traumatized child. So even if you were a traumatized child, just like these kids in the show, they were traumatized too, you know? But we still had these times and this connection with each other that is like no other, you know? But it's more than that. We were more than brothers and sisters. We were more than friends. We were just, you know, I'd even go as far as saying we were all soulmates. And soulmates doesn't necessarily mean sexual or romantic partner or anything like that, okay? It's a very close spiritual, like, from a whole nother place, special bond between people, okay? But yeah, like, first of all, okay, I'm a nerd. I'm into nerdy stuff, like I love Power Rangers, stuff like that. I'm 43 years old, okay? But I grew up on Power Rangers. Still loved it. To this day, I love Power Rangers. There's a lot of stuff. Wizard of Oz. Now the Wicked stuff, I love Wicked. There's a lot of stuff, fandom and stuff that I love. I love going to, you know, Comic-Cons and cosplay and stuff. I love Saved by the Bell. Actually, my best friend in the whole wide world, I'm going to start crying again. My best friend in the whole wide world was Dustin Diamond, who played Screech on Saved by the Bell. Unfortunately, he died in 2021 of cancer. And I miss him so freaking much, man. I miss him so much. But, and him too, you know, like, it's nostalgic. Every time I see him on TV, I cry. Because I miss him so much, you know? Wish he was here. And, but I love fandom stuff. And, but this show, man, this show tops, it's like the icing on the cake. This show is so freaking epic that I just can't even. No words. I have a million words, but no words at the same time. These Duffer Brothers, I think they're twins or something, they're gifted as hell, okay? And so was the cast. Like, my God, they put together such a beautiful masterpiece. Like, this is gonna just be a forever cherished thing. And then, my God, I can't even imagine the bond between the cast members and the crew and everything. Well, I can actually, because I do film and media production. I get it. It sucks on the last day when you wrap. It really does. You think it's bad when you end a show. Try being, you know, working on a set. That's hard because you make these special bonds and stuff. But anyway, Stranger Things. I loved it. I really loved it. And if you know, you know. But I believe.